All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to talk about news out there. Gotta love this boxing news out there. That Terence Crawford is going to get a big offer from the PBC to stay with the PBC. And that it is going to be a huge deal, despite the fact that that doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the world of boxing contracts in network deals, because there is word out there that Terence Crawford is getting a big deal from the PBC, Multifight deal to fight on Amazon Prime. Now, before I get into the details of it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so Terence Crawford, in my opinion, is the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. He's the best fighter in the world. He is a terrific, terrific fighter. He has a fight coming up with Errol Spence Jr. Don't know if it's going to be in February or March or April, but it's coming up. Don't know whether or not it's going to be at 154 pounds or 147, but the fight is coming up. Now, the reason why the fight could be, one of the reasons could be, that the fight is not taking place was because the PBC was changing networks. They had to change networks because Showtime is no longer going to be putting on boxing events. A very sad situation for boxing, but one that was roundly applauded and predicted by a whole lot of people, hoping that if Showtime went away, then Al Heyman and Floyd Mayweather and Leonard Ellerbe and the people that run the PBC would all go away. And then we would get rid of all of it. We would get rid of it. And then boxing could go back to when, like a Donald Trumpish type of movement of like make boxing great again by getting rid of Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Al Heyman. The best things that have happened to boxing this century. Okay, the best thing that has happened to boxing and the most productive and profitable things that have happened to boxing this century, they want to get rid of it so bad. It's amazing. So, unfortunately for the Let's Make Boxing Great Again crew, the PBC just leveled up. They went from Showtime, Showtime, which is which is in, I think, maybe 50 million homes, 30 to 50 million homes, to Amazon Prime, which is in 200 million homes in the United States alone. That's a lot of people. Okay, that's a lot of homes have access to Amazon Prime. Seeing as you don't even need a TV, it's truly streaming, and it is the biggest, and it really is the biggest. I believe Amazon itself is the biggest company in the world. So it got all kind of money, okay? All kind of money. And they don't necessarily have to have time slots for things to be put on. It's the perfect pay-per-view distribution network. Number one, it's going to be very difficult to steal fights from Amazon because their security on Amazon is so advanced that if anybody can stop you being able to stream and steal fights on a Fire Stick, it's going to be Amazon Prime. But whatever the case is, that's where the PBC goes. So people are now saying, well, for clicks and views. And I'll just say it. But you know, to be hypocritical, because everybody does everything for clicks and views. But what I mean by that is some crap that's probably not true. And why would you know that it is probably not true that the PBC is looking to offer a big multi-fight deal to Terence Crawford? And the answer is because they don't have to. Usually in business, you make offers to people like that because you're competing with somebody else for that person. Terence Crawford is not somebody that the PBC has to compete for because Top Rank doesn't want him. ESPN doesn't want him. If Top Rank wanted him, they could have kept him. DAZN doesn't really have the money, and they're not really talking and beating down Terence Crawford's door. I've said for a long time that the only place really for Terence Crawford to go is the PBC. But not saying that he is not worth making an offer to, but let's just look at what the deal says so far and what we know of the deal. What we know of the deal is that it is between a 12 and a 14 fight pay-per-view, 12 and 14 pay-per-views, right? 12 and 14 pay-per-views. So how many fights, how many headliners of pay-per-views will that be? You have, and how many are already at the PBC? You have Gervonta, good for at least 2 of them. You've got Errol, at least good for at least 2 of them. You have Canelo, probably good for about 3 of them. You got David Benavidez, good for about 2 of them. You've got, as far as the people that fight on the PBC, you've got young guys like Jaron Ennis and his fight cards, right? So there could be 2 of those. So right there, you're looking at, if you can name 5 people, and I'm sure I missed one, as far as the people that they would put on pay-per-view. You got you have the Charlos. That's like, they've got at least 5 or 6 people out there that they could have 2 dates for, which would only lead 2 pay-per-view shows. Now, would they dedicate those to Terence Crawford? I don't know, if they don't feel like Terence Crawford is going to be with them for the long haul. And they're not actually signed to Al Heyman. And then you also have to consider that when they have these pay-per-view shows, don't lunch that they may do once, try to get one with a Deontay Wilder or a Floyd Mayweather Jr. If Floyd Mayweather Jr. wants to do a pay-per-view exhibition on the PBC. So there may be 2 dates available for a Terence Crawford, specifically for a Terence Crawford pay-per-view. And if they offered him a multi-fight deal for that, it would to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do it because Terence is going to have to go over there anyway. And also, Terence has been a little bit of a headache to negotiate with in the things that they had before. I think that they more than likely will take care of the fighters that are with the PBC first. You're also going to have pay-per-view dates for guys like Keith Thurman. If Keith Thurman comes back and fights Jaron Ennis, that's another pay-per-view date. So I don't know, man. If you mean multi-fight deal, if you're talking about multi-fight over 2, then maybe, right? Maybe, but I just think more than likely they'll just do a fight-by-fight with them and deal with the fighters that are really already associated either with TGB Promotions or fighters that they're really the fighters that they're trying to build up. Now, would they do fight-by-fight deals with Terence Crawford? I'm sure they would. That makes a lot of sense to me because why not? Because then you're talking about fighting guys like Jaron. You're talking about doing fights with guys like Jermell. But I just don't know, man. And also, it's a funny situation to put themselves in because you don't know whether or not Terence Crawford's going to actually retire or not. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.